Opera here, and welcome back to another WIP and Chat. So if you're new here, WIP stands for Work in Progress. So that can be anything. It can be knitting, cross-stitching, diamond painting, any kind of craft really. But yeah, if you want to get out whatever you're working on and just work along with me, that would be fantastic. So, I have gone back to work. I had my first shift on Sunday, which was 2 days ago for me. And yeah, it was all right. You have all this anxiety built up when you're going back to work. And really, I didn't need to be so built up because the shift went really fine. It was really smooth. But yeah. I did have one customer that I had to deal with that was just not getting anything through their mind. So, obviously we have age-restricted films, like, so there's the new Angelina Jolie film, Those Who Wish Me Dead, I think that's the name of it. So we have a lot of trouble with the travelling community. So those that have families, they're not usually that bad. They're usually really good, really well behaved. But it's when we get the teenagers in and they want to go and see age-restricted films and they don't have any kind of passport or ID with them. However, saying that, I have said that a lot of them with families tend to be quite good. We have had a few issues with sort of the younger sort of members of that community that have had families quite young, and we've seen kids as young as sort of 7 that have come in with their family, and their family are encouraging them to steal stock, but yeah, we always catch them and we're always like, you want to pay for that? Obviously, like I say, this isn't the whole community, because definitely by 1 or 2 individuals that doesn't it's not fair to kind of say that everybody in that traveling community is like that. Definitely not. No, we just happen to deal with quite a few individuals. But yeah, we get a lot of teenagers in, and we've also caught sort of people having when we've had the travellers in, we have actually caught them doing the business in the screen, if you know what I mean. So we have night vision goggles to obviously check nobody's pirating the film, and yeah, people have been we have caught travelling couples having sex in the screens. It's always worrying, especially when it's a kids film and they're doing it, because it's like, obviously there are families around, and it's, oh god, it's the most embarrassing thing. I thankfully have never had to deal with it, but yeah, maybe one day I will. But yeah, anyway, I digress from that. So, like I say, it was my first shift back on a Sunday, And my first hour of work was just sitting in the office reading the new sort of procedures that we were undertaking with COVID. So I just finished reading all that, and yeah, so I came out onto my area. I was dealing with sort of people that are members of our sort of our cinema club, because we had a special screening for them to see a new film. We had a lot of people come out and complain about that film because I think it was, what film was it? It was called Frankie, I think it was. And people were coming out and complaining because there was a lot of Portuguese and French in the film, and there were no subtitles. And so we had a lot of customers kind of coming up to us and complaining about it, and sort of thinking, has someone forgotten to switch the subtitles on? But no, my manager, he looked it up, and it's not meant to have subtitles. So basically, if you go and watch that film, I think it's probably a case of, if you can't understand what they're saying, watch their body language. However, where I work, that would probably require quite a few of our customers to have a degree of intelligence, as it were. Some of our customers are not the brightest tools in the shed. One person that came out to complain about the special screening that we had for them, she's a serial complainer, so yeah, that was fun. Kind of, when she came out, I was like, oh god, here we go. But anyway, again, I digress. So while I was dealing with getting all those people into our special screening, there was a travelling boy. He came up to me wanting to see the new Angelina Jolie film. And obviously, as always, I have to check IDs, so that can be in the form of a passport, driving license, one of the holographic pass cards, anything. So yeah, if you're a parent that's in the UK, just make sure that your kids have some kind of form of ID, whether it's a picture of their passport or anything. It cannot be a birth certificate, because it has to be a photographic form of ID. Yeah, so I've had people try to use Facebook and Instagram, but the issue with that is obviously ages can be changed, dates of birth can be changed. So that's why we don't accept people showing us their social media like stuff. So he comes up and he's like, I've got ID, but it's on my phone and my phone's died. And I said, right, have you got anything else on you? And he was like, no. And I said, right, well, I can't let you in due to the fact that this is an age-restricted film. It was a 15. Well, it is a 15. So I can't let you in because it's an age-restricted film. I do need to, unfortunately, see some kind of proof of age. It is the law. And he was going, yeah, but I've got it on my phone. But my phone's died, and it had died, bless him. And I was saying, well, what I can do, I said, I understand that your phone's died and it was on your phone. But if you don't have any other kind of form of ID, I can't let you in. So what I can do is I can either swap you to a different film, and you can watch that. And he said, I don't want to watch that film. And he said, I don't want to watch another film. I want to watch this film. Let me in. And I said, no, I can't do that. It's either, I say okay, so you don't want to go into another film. So what I can do is I can get a manager out and they can get you a refund. And he was just saying, I don't want a refund. I've been here since 3:30 in the afternoon. I don't want a refund. I want to see this film. I was like, well, I can't let you in because you haven't got any ID. And he was like, but it's on my phone and my phone's dead. You need to charge my phone. And I said, I can't take your phone and charge it, unfortunately. That's not, because obviously with the whole pandemic that's going on at the moment, I can't take a customer's phone and charge it just because of the COVID risk. And I was just going back and forth saying I can swap you to a different film. He was saying, no, I want to watch this film. And finally, I think after about the 10th time of me saying, no, you can't, it's either you get a refund or we swap your film, and him saying, no, I want to watch this film, I want to go in and watch this film, that I just had that voice in the back of my head. It's just like, he's not getting this. I'm gonna call a team leader over. So I called my team leader over, and bless her, she had the patience of a saint, because she was saying exactly the same thing I was. We can't let you in, age restricted film, we need to see some kind of ID. And he was, and she was saying, I can refund you, I can swap your ticket. And he was going, no, I want to watch this film. And she was basically, bless her, she was saying the same thing that I had been doing. I probably spent about, I don't know how long I'd spent, probably spent about 5 minutes with this guy saying that he couldn't go into this film because it was an age restricted film. And he kept saying, no, I want to go into this film. I'm going into this film. And I kept saying no. But she was having this conversation, the same thing that I had been going on for probably like half an hour. She kept saying exactly the same thing. And it was the thing is that when I was checking tickets, he said he had a birth certificate. So already alarm bells in my mind were ringing, thinking, oh, he's just got a birth certificate. I can't, if it's just birth certificate, because it's not photographic ID, I can't let him in. And, I've got all this fun stuff going through my mind. And it's, I'm just constantly hearing my team leader saying, no, we can't let you see this film just because it's age restricted and you haven't got any ID on you. And he kept just arguing, saying, but it's on my phone, it's died. And I've walked, and he had apparently walked 4 hours just to go and see this film. So yeah, I've got no idea where he walked from. But yeah, that was pretty, I did sympathize with him. And he was like saying, because obviously his phone was dead, so he couldn't call anyone to come and pick him up. But oh my gosh, it was just, while trying to deal with customers, hearing that going on in the background, it was one of the most sort of moments that I just wanted to pull my hair out and scream. I thought, why did I even come back? Why? Why did I come back? But yeah, no, it's just going to be nice just to get out of the house, just out of these four walls, because there's only so much crafting that you can do before your mind's like, right, bored now. And you know, sorry, I bumped you there. And when you're in a house for, I don't know, for over a year, effectively, and you haven't been working, you know, you can understand where I'm coming from. It just gets so boring. You're like, oh, come on, I just want to get out of this house. I just want to go back to work. Which, you know, I find it really funny how everyone's like, oh, I just wish I had more time at home. And then when we get it, and it's virtually a year, everyone's kind of like, this wasn't exactly what I had in mind. But, you know, life doesn't always give you sweet stuff. Sometimes life just gives you lemons. So yeah, but no, apart from that, the rest of the shift actually went really smoothly. The boy did finally get into his film, probably about, I don't know, an hour into the film, because like I say, my team leader, she did take his phone and actually charge it in the office bit, so that, you know, we could see his ID, and he actually had a passport, which, like I say, you know, and she turned and told me that she had the guy had a passport, because he did go in. He actually went in just as I was doing screen checks, I think. But yeah. So, yeah, that was, you know, it was nice that he got to see his film, but probably because he got to see quite, like only half of it, he'll probably be back in the week, possibly to see the rest of it, but I don't know. So yeah, hopefully his phone won't die and he'll be all nice and peaceful, so we're not having an argument with ID. But no, it's honestly, if say he had got like really quite aggressive, because he wasn't aggressive, he was just annoyed, then we could have very easily kind of called the police and got him removed off site, which thankfully it didn't come to that. We have had to remove members of the travelling community in the past. I don't know. It's, yeah, I just feel relieved that he kind of did get to see his film in the end, even if it was kind of part way through. Because at the moment we don't have trailers. We can't, you know, it's basically the time that the film starts is the time that's printed on our paperwork. We have effectively no control, just because obviously everything's been shut for nearly a year, so we've been kind of trying to get everything back on track. But anyway, yeah, so yesterday was Monday after my close. I was very tired when I woke up yesterday, because, you know, I went horse riding and I couldn't I obviously couldn't you know, have a lie-in yesterday. I had to get up and do go horse riding. I mean, I could have stayed in bed, but I love my horse riding, so yeah, it's only really if I can't get there. So next week I won't be horse riding because just purely on the fact that it's bank holiday in the UK next Monday. It's the May bank holiday for us. Well, the second May bank holiday. For some reason, over here, I don't know if it's the same where you live. There are 2 bank holidays in May, and that's basically when everything's closed. So, like the banks and stuff. But yeah, it's weird. So yeah, obviously everything's Sunday service, so sometimes you'll have things that happen. So sort of, for example, trains can be once an hour or once every half an hour, and for someone who can't legally drive, I like to say to people, I can drive, just not legally. It's a real nightmare for me to just get to places on a bank holiday. So usually on the May bank holiday, I will tend to go 1 week and then go on the first one or the second one, and then whichever one that I missed, and whichever one that I missed, I'll go to the next one. So say 1 year I did the first week horse riding like I did this year, then I'd miss the second bank holiday and vice versa. So yeah, that's a thing for me. And I know I didn't mention this at the beginning. This will probably be a WIP and Chat that's broken up. So my plan is I'm going to film half an hour today before I go to work, and then I'm going to film half an hour tomorrow before I go to work. So hopefully, because obviously I started this channel during the lockdown. I didn't really have any sort of time constraints, but now I'm kind of back at work. I have to obviously work around that. Thankfully, I'm not really kind of my rota isn't like that busy next week. I've got 3 shifts next week, and they're a lot more easier for me to film things on, so that'll be good for me, definitely, because I'm closing next Thursday. Actually, no, I won't be able to do that. Well, I'll probably be able to do half and half again, but yeah, that's really all I'll do. So yeah, I'm just going to do half an hour today, and then, well, about half an hour, roughly half an hour today, and then I'll do half an hour tomorrow. So you never know, I might have a hoodie on tomorrow. But yeah, so yesterday went horse riding like I normally do on a Monday. Looked on the board, and it was a horse I'd never ridden before. I'd heard about him, but I hadn't actually ridden him. And the horse that I was riding yesterday, his name was Boots. And he's a gentle giant. And I mean that. He is a gentle giant. So I said that I think I said in a previous WIP and Chat that my maximum is probably a 15 hand horse, which is kind of at 14.9 I think it was, is when they counted the horse. But yeah, 15, like in the 15 hand mark, that's normally where I ride, like the height that I will ride. Yeah, this guy, this boy that I rode yesterday, he was 16 hands. So he was very big. So my mum figured out that would be about a 12-foot horse. And I'm 5 foot. So there's kind of, when I was waiting for my lesson, I did get rained on. It did rain yesterday. I got rained on twice. Once when I was waiting on the bus to go into sort of the city where near where I live, and then the second I have to get 2 buses, one into sort of the city and then another into the country, which is obviously, as you know, Levant. So I have to go into Chichester and go to Levant there. But yeah, so I got rained on twice. Once when I was waiting for the bus to go into Try, and then the second when the second time I got rained on was I'd just come off the bus at 11, and so when I'm going to the stables I have to walk through an allotment, and I was just coming to the end of the allotment, so kind of I have to cross the road, and then I walk across the field to get to the stables, and yeah, the heavens opened again. So I got absolutely soaked again. So that was fun. So yeah, it was raining a little bit when I got to the stables, but I found a place that I could find shelter. So at this point I've obviously read the board to see which horse I'm riding. And I've seen that I'm riding a horse called Boots. Sorry, I'm going to cough. Sorry about that. But no, I read that I would be riding Boots. So under my shelter, if it's a horse I haven't ridden before, I will always sort of do a little check to see sort of the temperament and everything. And when I was looking at his sort of bio, I really had to take a double take, because I was like, hold up, that didn't say 16 hands. Let me just, yeah, no, definitely says 16 hands. And my mind was just like, oh my god, I'm gonna die. Because, like I say, I'd never ridden a horse that big before. And so they brought him in. It was time for my lesson. The instructor brought him in, and I was like, okay, he's really big. And yeah, I was like, okay, let's do this. So, say, all 5 foot of me, I was on the mountain block, and because of where he was so big, I basically had my knees in my armpits because I was so short. But no, I had a really good lesson. The first thing that struck me was, like I say, I've ridden smaller horses, was how long his footfalls were, and it was like, oh, okay. But yeah, it took a little bit of getting used to. And then he has a really nice bouncy trot, and canter's quite nice as well, actually. But yeah, I didn't feel like I was gonna fall or anything. I didn't feel like I was gonna hurt myself or anything. I felt really, really safe up there, which was a good thing, because it also shows how much I've grown as a rider. Because he was there when I originally started riding. So bit of backstory: how I started riding was one of my exes used to actually work there, and yeah, he had I think he had ridden him before, and he'd said that he was like really sort of jumpy, fidgety, and yeah, they changed the bit for his bridle. So you see that horses usually have a mouthpiece in their mouths. He doesn't have that. He has something called a hackamore bit. I'll get a picture so you can see the difference. And yeah, it just means that you put pressure on the reins from contact of the nose. It's pretty interesting how it works, actually. But yeah, so he was doing that, and also he used to ride with his head up a lot. So, and that's usually sort of I've forgotten what Sally, my instructor, was saying about a horse riding with their head up, but no, he doesn't pull. Some people apparently refused to ride him because he was so like jumpy. So yeah, that's but no, he was really, really good. I really enjoyed riding him, and yeah, I just can't wait for my next lesson. Right, so I am gonna stop it right here, just because I've got to get ready for work in a minute. So I will probably be back tomorrow. So I will see you guys tomorrow. And we're back. So today is Wednesday, and this is the second half of the WIP and Chat. So I will apologise if I don't sound as bubbly and as happy as I normally am, and that is purely because this morning I had my my Astrazeneca. Yeah, I finally got my first jab. I was called up. I just finished my driving lesson. I'll get onto that after. And I got a call about 11 o'clock. I was going to have a shower and have a little snooze before I had to go to work this afternoon. Now, I should already be at work, but because of how I'm feeling after my jab, I decided it was safest just to call in and let them know, hey, I've had my jab and this is how I'm feeling. And so I got a call at 11 in the morning. I'd just come back from my driving lesson. I was going to have a little shower. It was really awkward because I was on the loo as well. So I was like talking to this guy about having a COVID jab on the phone at while you're on the loo. So yeah, that was just a little bit awkward, but you know, I got there about 11:30, and he booked me in for, I think he said it was my jab was just after 12 o'clock. Because, as you know, I've got asthma, and I told you about my doctors effectively refusing to put me on the COVID thing to speed it up. My mum works for a charity, and one of the people that she volunteers for, she had mentioned it, and she said, if I can, I'll see if I can get your daughter on the list, so that after we finish our session, if we have any doses left, we'll be able to give her dose. So that's what happened. I got a call, like I said, I got a call at 11 o'clock, and I jumped at it. The guy was like, are you okay with having Astrazenica? And I was like, yep. So I had it, and I came home, and I just kind of, after about half an hour of having it, I started to feel like poop. I started to feel achy, just really like lethargic, and I just really didn't want to know. So I called in sick. It is now 5 o'clock in the evening when I'm filming this, because I just had some paracetamol, and also because I'm only going to be talking for about half an hour, it shouldn't be too bad. But yeah, as you can see, yesterday I finished all this before I went to work. Normally I would have done this before work, but it might have been a case that, say, if I hadn't reacted right now, I would have possibly been having to film this on Friday, which I would not have wanted to do, just because it would be a little bit of not a nightmare exactly, but it would be kind of pretty awkward for me to be like doing this, because I'll be trying to get this out on Sunday. And yeah, I just kind of prefer to have it out early. And also, it comes out at midnight. I always schedule it to come out at midnight, just so that I'm not awake when it goes live. That's just how I am. So yeah, don't worry if you kind of comment sort of like 1 o'clock in the morning my time. I will get back to you. But anyway, so right, so like I say, I had my Astrazeneca, and I'm currently filming this feeling like garbage. Right. So I should get into my driving lesson. My driving lesson went really well. I had a few silly little mistakes. I've got about 7 weeks until my test, so I'm a bit like, oh my gosh, I'm like really kind of shook at the moment. It's just like it's like it's getting closer. But I'm nervous, but I'm excited. So today, my instructor, he took me on kind of a different route, just to see how I'd react. So it's like I was saying to him, oh, I'm a guinea pig. But yeah, so he took me around. I had a few little mistakes, like going into the wrong lane for the exit. And yeah, it was, and also I had a couple of minors as well, because obviously it is kind of, we are looking at test worthy stuff. You know, I know I'm probably overly ready and overly done. So no matter what, I would always take, I will take my test. Even if, say, I haven't had a good mock or good mocks, because James, he tends to do mock tests. That's the name of my instructor, by the way. Sort of, so not next week, because I know we're doing manoeuvres next week. So yeah, I'll do that. But yeah, I think the week after he's doing a mock test, and it's just kind of starting to feel really real. You know, he was saying to me at the end of a lesson, excuse me, he was saying to me at the end of the lesson, I've got no reason to why you shouldn't fail. It's just going to be a really, like, you know, like you say, if you fail, it's going to be a really stupid mistake. And yeah, I was just like, you know, I just kind of want to get this done, and because I just want to get driving. I really do. I really want to kind of get this done and just have a little bit more freedom, because then for me, closers won't be that much of an issue. But also, yeah, it'll mean that I'll be able to kind of take my, you know, medication after, say, if I've got an open and I've got to be there early, I'll probably be taking my medication kind of when I get to work. But yeah, I'll just show you the 310 quickly. Yeah, that's all I've got left. So probably after I finish this section, so probably after I come off, and then I finish this little bit, and I'll probably be doing this bit. Oh, if anybody's asking, wondering about my arm, they did it in the left, so the arm that my ring is on, which is why it's not so much of an issue for me diamond painting. Right, so now I'm going to zoom you in a bit, and I'm probably going to move you, please don't get sick. Right, I hope you are all doing really well. But yeah, no, so that has been my my experience for the last sort of day. So I'll get into work, because I've done all the other bits. So as you know from the first part that I recorded yesterday, I'm obviously back at work, and yeah, so I was supposed to be doing the same shift that I'm doing today, well, that I would be doing today, which is 4 till 9, but obviously, like I say, I feel like rubbish, so I'm very obviously not there, which is why I'm recording this. It might have been a case that I could have come home and started to record this, but it would have been about, probably, I'd have been recording this about 11 at night, so I kind of really don't want to do that unless I have to. But no, probably after this I'll have a shower and wash my hair. But yeah, no, work was it wasn't quiet, but it wasn't busy either. It was steady. So we had, another, so backtrack. So we had another like special screening for people of our club. I think I'd mentioned this before, but actually no, I wouldn't have mentioned this in the first part, because I wouldn't have, because I didn't know that we even had one of these special screenings. So we had the special screening for the, sorry, I'm just trying to find a colour at the moment, for the new Conjuring film, The Devil Made Me Do It. I did not need to put that many drills in the tray. I've only got one of those symbols. Stupid. So like I say, we had a special screening for people who are signed up for our club, and it was Conjuring The Devil Made Me Do It. So with these special screens, we'll always do extra checks on the very, very, very unlikely event that one of our club card holders is trying to pirate the film. We're really, really strict on piracy. We have usually about 3 checks. So we'll go in at the trailers. Obviously at the moment we don't have any trailers. So we'll check in at the beginning of the film, as it were. And then we'll go in usually about half an hour after the film itself has started, but obviously for this we'll go in about half an hour after the film itself has started, due to not having ads and trailers, and then we'll go in again sort of an hour after we checked the main film. And now I'm gonna let something slip. I do not like horror films, so I usually try and get everyone else to do it. You know, I will do them, but the issue is when I'm doing screen checks, if we've got age restricted films and they've got the rather intimate scenes, excuse me, I always tend to walk in on those scenes, or even or even kind of if we've got a horror, it's always a scary bit. Always. I can never get anywhere in between where it's safe. But no, I think it was Sunday. I don't think I mentioned it. I was screen checking Spiral, which is the new Saw movie. Ugh. I haven't, as I think you've probably guessed, I haven't watched any of the Saw movies. I don't want to. Not my thing. However, I do like American Horror Story, so, you know, take of it what you will, but I'm not really like a horror fanatic. I've watched a few minor horror films, but I haven't really kind of, watched the big ones like Saw, Conjuring. That's, yeah, no, not me at all. Maybe one day I'll get the balls to kind of watch one of them in daytime, because I know all the Conjuring films are on Netflix, etc. So maybe one day, maybe one day. Depends how brave I'm feeling. But yeah, I was screen checking Spiral, and I happened to walk in, obviously just as there's a scary bit that's about to happen. So I'm doing my screen check with our night vision goggles. So if you ever go to a cinema and you see kind of a person standing there with something that looks like a camera, don't worry, we're not filming you. We've had that before, where people have thought that people have come into the screen and started filming them. Yeah, no, we haven't been doing that. We're not doing that. We don't do that. Yeah, it's just us with the night vision. Some of our regulars, they know we do it, and they kind of tend to know when we're coming in. So some of them will tend to wave. We've got this one lovely couple. The gentleman, bless him, he's only got one arm, but him and his wife, if ever I'm in the screen, they'll always wave. So yeah, that's always quite funny when you sort of see customers waving at you through the night vision. But no, that was, so yeah, like I say, I went in spiral, went really quiet, and I thought, oh, just my luck, I've walked in at a scary bit, and I'm just like checking, and all of a sudden there's just this loud noise, and I jumped so, it made me jump so badly that I'm surprised that I didn't go through the ceiling. I really, really am. So, yeah. Like I say, not a big horror person. Never will be. I'm never going to be. But no, I walked in on a scary bit of The Conjuring. I happened to walk through the door just as it went really quiet, and I already knew there was going to be a scary bit, so I actually went and checked another screen. And just as I closed the door, there was obviously the big thud, and I was like, oh, thank God. But no, I went back and checked it, and yeah, everyone was behaving themselves, thankfully. But usually with the special screenings, we usually tend to do at least 4 or 5 different screen checks, just because obviously, you know, our customers, they are getting an early release, as it were, of this film. And I believe The Conjuring came out today, I think. Oh God. I had paracetamol and now I'm starting to feel really bleh. But no, yeah, no, when I went and did my checks, everyone was behaving themselves. Not talking, not being really. But yeah, one of my colleagues that goes in, that went in and checked it, she was like, oh, it was really funny because I was watching everyone kind of really scared, like with their popcorn, and they're like, oh my God. Yeah, but no, that is it's kind of, you know, I will admit, when it's kind of, the film's been out a while, actually I probably shouldn't admit, kind of sort of popping my head round, doing a really quick check and going, yeah, everything's fine. I probably shouldn't admit to that, but I do, just because like I say, I'm not a horror person at all, so I kind of just want to get in and out. But yeah, so yeah, no, we didn't have any complaints from customers. The only issue that I really had to deal with is, I know I mentioned that we do ID people for obviously age restricted films. Actually, I can talk about two funny stories. So, well, actually, one's funny, one's not. So, I was on the bit where you stand to check tickets, and I saw all these young girls, and I was like, which one are they for? Because usually, sort of when you see a whole load of schoolgirls or schoolboys, you know they're going to try and get into an age-restricted film and not have ID on them. But yeah, it is the law that we have to follow, and that we do need to check how old they are. Just because, yeah, like I say, we can't have sort of young teenagers coming in and watching, you know, age restricted content. There is a reason why film certificates have film certificates. And yeah, I asked them for ID, and they didn't have any ID on them. So I obviously said, right, can anyone send a photo of passports or anything? And they were like, yeah, we can try, which was really good, like, you know. But they did all try to say, oh, we're all in year 11. And I was obviously saying, you know, I need to see photographic ID. I can't just take word of mouth, just because it is the law. And also, when they came up, the girl that had the ticket, it was booked under a man's name, so obviously it was like a parent or guardian that booked the ticket. And we've had some pretty interesting showdowns with parents and guardians regarding the law. I've had one person try to say to me, that's your policy, and I'm like, no, it's the law. So yeah, that's but no, I actually had to go away and do checks, and they were seen to by another of my colleagues, and he said when I got back that they did all manage to get ID. I was a little bit worried about one of them, because one of the girls kept coming up and like asking, what do we do if say one of us doesn't have a passport or any form of ID, which, you know, did kind of, sorry, my arm, I've got my left arm just resting on the table, which obviously did send alarm bells for me. Of why they'd be asking that. I thought, it's possible, you know, that one of them is old enough but just doesn't have any form of ID. And yeah, it's, you know, it's always heartbreaking when you have to send people away, but unfortunately the law is there to protect people. You know, I had a girl on Sunday, I think it was Sunday, that came in with her family, and she saw Quiet Place, the poster for Quiet Place, the second one, and she was like, oh, is that a scary movie? I was like, yeah. And she said, oh, I want to see that. And I said, yeah, you have to wait until you're a little bit older to see that one. She was like, oh, but I love scary movies. And this girl only looked about 10 or 11. And I thought, oh my gosh, why? You know, it's completely down to the parents of whether they want to let their kids watch 15s in the comfort of their own home. Because obviously You know, we can't police that. It's only in the sort of retail selling of tickets and distributing of film. So say when it goes to DVD, that's the only time when really people can check it. So if, say, you know, a parent buys the DVD of a horror movie and they let a child watch it, you know, we've got no control over that. But you know, in the private of people's own home, people can do what they want. If they decide that they let their child watch that film, you know, that's them. That's how they see sort of fit to everything, you know. I'm not there to judge that, you know. I didn't watch an age-restricted film, which was 15, until a couple of days before my 14th birthday, and that was in the comfort of my own home. And it's kind of watching that, it was, you know, I could see why there were these certificates, but because of obviously I've kind of almost grown up as a single child, an only child. I'm my mum's only child, but obviously, as you know, I'm not my dad's only child. But yeah, I was kind of like, you know, and it really did also make me appreciate of why there are these certifications, like these film certifications. And yeah, and it's kind of working in a cinema, I actually, you know, I respect it more in a way. But yeah, the amount of sort of people that do try and take you on about it, the amount of, it's because obviously I'm quite tiny, so I do get a lot of ID disputes. You know, I've had kind of, as I say, we've had issues with the travelling families. I've had travelling, sort of the teenagers threatening to knock me out on my way home. Well, not on my way home, but sort of at the time saying, oh, when you leave tonight, I'm going to knock you out, or I'm going to get a mate to knock me out. I've had that quite a bit. And people think just because I'm tiny, I'm going to back down quickly, but no, I won't back down. When I coached gymnastics, I had about 4 parents kind of gang up on me for why their kid didn't get a badge, which, you know, I can understand when people get upset, but there's really no sort of justification for it. But no, it was I think probably I've never been scared, but I've kind of sort of thought, when people have tried to intimidate me, I'm like, yeah, you're definitely not getting in now. Thought, yeah, no, you're not getting in. You've just been rude to me. Usually I do defer it up to higher up, just because, you know, it's not that I can't handle it, it's just because they think they can bowl me over, and I'm always like, I can always get a team leader or a manager, and usually that's enough to kind of put them down a bit. What was it? It was a couple of years ago when we had the movie. I think it was Hereditary, I think. And you know, I was working the popcorn bit where you can get all your snacks and stuff, and I had some people come up to me and they wanted to you know, me to print up for their tickets. I looked at the film. They had 2 children with them, and I said, oh, have your kids got ID? They were like, no. I said, oh, well, because it is an age restricted film, I obviously need to see ID. And the woman goes into her pocket and pulls out her police badge and says, I'm a detective, you know, and I was kind of, in the back of my mind, I'm like, well, you should know better. And I was like, I can't let your kids in without ID. And so I gave them an example. This is usually what I will tell people. This is the first thing. It's like selling alcohol or a lottery ticket. I can't sell that if I don't have validation of age. And it's kind of, she and her husband were just looking at it, were like exchanging glances, like, what the hell? Like, you know, that was something that wasn't even related. But it's just so fun, kind of getting into you know, that sort of thing. But you do have to be so careful, because obviously if you say the wrong thing, you're gonna have a whole load of people kind of on your back. Like, sort of, you're gonna have to deal with a whole sort of angry mob. You know, I've had it before when we've had films. So one example was when the second Deadpool came out. It was an 18 everywhere else apart from the UK. And so we were being so strict on ID, like everybody that just didn't look old enough, it was ID, and you would literally have like a queue of people trying to get ID just so they could see one film. And you know, that's just what happens. It can be quite sort of amusing sometimes, sort of seeing their faces drop, thinking, oh, we're gonna get in, we're gonna have a laugh. And yeah, but no, it's just a really stupid thing. Just if you do have kids and they are going by themselves to see film, just make sure they do have some kind of photographic ID, so that they can back it up, so that you're not kind of going to get a phone call saying we can't go and see the film because we haven't got ID. Yeah, so yeah, that's my advice to all parents. Just make sure they've got like a photo of their passport on their phone, or just anything else, anything that, you know, you can do. So yeah, that is all for this week. If you did enjoy this video, please hit the like button, comment down below, and if you would like to, please subscribe. I always appreciate it. But no, I will see you all next week. I'll probably, I'm trying to think what I'm working. So yeah, no, I'll probably be able to do this on the Wednesday actually, just because I'm actually off then. So yeah, it probably won't be broken down. Also, this week I do have an unboxing of a Diamond Art Club. It is a discontinued kit, but yeah, I got it from a D-stash, so I'm really excited to unbox this. But yeah, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye!